up your engine! People are always asking me about sports sedans. I'm going to talk about this 2007 Nissan Maxima. Is it a good car? Is it a bad car? Now, when this Maxima was new, it was a $28,000 car. Now it's a 2007. Even the books that generally inflate values say that this thing is worth anywhere from $1,700 to $3,300 today. Now, my customer bought this thing a year ago for $3,500. And the first thing he said to me was, yeah, I wish I would have bought a Toyota instead. To which I responded, yeah, but you're not going to get much of a Toyota for $3,500. I mean, check this car out. It's a nice looking car. Still got a great paint job. White reflects heat, holds up over time. The wheels are still good. Nice lines to it. There's no bashes or anything. It is a nice looking car. But alas, looks can be deceiving. And they often are in older Nissan. I tell people, you want to buy one, buy a new one. Keep it 100,000 miles, you might not have any problems at all. But this baby, now that it's got some mileage on it, got 152,719 miles. And guess what? It's showing its age. It needs quite a bit of work. Now in this case, this baby has 3 catalytic converters and they're going out. It is typical on Nissans. And I've often had people buy the cheaper aftermarket catalytic converters and they still fail the test. If you have to buy 3 cats for this car and you buy OEM factory cats, that's more money than the car's worth. It runs decently most of the time, especially after you put some cat cleaner in the tank. In order to get it legally passed in an inspection, if you live in an area that has emissions inspecting, you'd have to replace those cats, and man, that is one expensive job, and it's typical. They almost always go bad on these Nissan V6 engines when they get mileage like this one. It has like 150 on it. Almost invariably, they're going to go bad. Now, once in a while, they get too clogged up and it really runs bad. When you put the cleaner in, it cleans it out. So let's say you lived in a place like Montana where they don't inspect cars for emissions. You could just keep adding cleaner, you know, and live with that. But if you live in a place where they inspect cars for emissions, especially California, you wouldn't want to touch this car with a 10-foot pole. And you might have noticed I got AC gauges hooked up because the AC system is leaking. That's the reason the guy brought the car in the first place, because it's hot here in Houston and he wanted to see what's wrong with the AC. I'm gonna fill it up, put some dye in, look for big leaks. If I don't find any, just tell him, just keep filling the stupid thing up, because as it's running, you can hear the compressor rattling a little. You know, at some point the compressor itself's gonna go out. That's a lot of money on one of these. Now, if you don't have to have AC, you don't care. But here in Houston, that's important. Hence, they have extremely low resale value when they're this old. Now, as we look inside, hey, the interior is still in excellent shape. That's how they sell these things. They're comfortable. They handle great. They got a nice Nissan engine and a good suspension system. And as we check the back, a lot of room in the back seat and a decent trunk. There's some good room in here for stuff. Notice the jumper cables. And as I said, V6 engine, it's very reliable. This one puts out 255 horsepower. Not insane horsepower, but back in 2007, that was still a decent amount, and it's a very zippy car. The problem is, at this age, these things just tend to fall apart. They look great, but it's all a facade. The owner says he's got a clunk on the left front. Let's jack it up, see what's going on there. Find a good jack point. There's one. And up we go. So first we'll look inside. We can see it's wet in here. So the strut's starting to wear. And I can see and feel a ridge, kind of a scalloped ridge. A worn strut can do that, as can worn front end parts. And when I wiggle this back and forth, I can feel there's some play in the power steering rack. So that means the very expensive power steering rack is worn. Eventually that'll need replacing. Again, a brand new one, that'll be more than the car's actually worth. Although that is something you can live with. It's not too bad yet. It's not going clunka clunka. I've had customers drive them years that way. They were just buying new front tires. Maybe every 15,000 miles because they wear out too fast. And as long as they didn't clunk when you pulled on it, you hit a big bump, you hear a clunk up there, they would just live with that. Do not expect perfection. If you buy one of these things used with this kind of mileage on it. So let's put it down, take it for a spin. Now, as we can see in the door here, this is a Nissan. It's a Japanese car, but if you notice here, it says manufactured by Nissan Motor Company. This one was actually put together in Tennessee. So let's start it up. It starts right up. Most Japanese cars will. Now, you do have to say it's a pretty quiet car, but if you listen, you can hear the power steering groaning, because that's a little worn, but it still works. It does still have the feel of a nice sports sedan. It does still ride pretty good, even though the struts are worn. Even though it's old, it still handles decent. And let's see how this thing with 152,000 miles accelerates. On your mark, get set, go! It's still got some decent acceleration. And the transmission still works pretty good. They are made for speed. And even though this one's old, hey, it's still a fun car to drive, and it rides pretty good on the highway. If you heard the little talking voice, he's got radar hooked up. Many people who drive these things have radar detectors because they tend to drive fast. That's why they bought the Nissan. That's how they sell these things in the first place. They're fast, they're fun to drive. But as they age like this one, they become endless money pits if you want perfection. Now, if you don't mind a car that's old but still fast, fun to drive, and you don't mind dealing with the hassle of getting this thing inspected because it needs catalytic converters, which cost a fortune, or the AC, maybe you got to keep filling it up with refrigerant every once in a while. If you don't mind a car like that, and you can pick up one like this, hey, look, they go for $1,500 to $3,200. They don't cost that much money. But if you're one of those people who just want a car you can just buy and drive and not mess with, this is not the car for you. Because as beautiful as it looks for a 14-year-old car, looks can be deceiving. And in this case, it's hiding a lot of problems. Sure, it'd be a fun toy if you could pick one up for $1,500 or something and only drive it on the weekends, maybe fix what you need to, or live with it. Like the steering. It's not bad. It's got a little play. Eventually it's going to need a rack. But if you only drive it 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 miles a year, what the heck, it still might go a decade or more before it finally completely gets enough wobble that you have to because it's not safe. If you're going to do something like that, you don't really care about the front tires wearing out because they'll dry rot first. If you're only driving small mileage, after 5, 6, 7 years, the tires will dry rot, they'll get cracks and they're unsafe and you got to replace them anyways. So if you're using it as a toy, you really don't care. Hey, 5 years later, you still got it, the tires are dry rotted, just buy cheaper tires and put them on. But to me, it's kind of sad because decades ago, the Nissan Maximas, I had customers have 300,000-400,000 miles on them, and they didn't do hardly any work other than timing belts, brake jobs, oil changes, stuff like that. They're not as well made as they once were. Nissan quality, kind of like GM, has been going downhill for decades. And it's a shame, because they make cars that look good, ride good, zippy to go around in. So, I mean, really, if you want a cheap toy, you can find one of these cheap. Take advantage of the fact that they have problems. And you get a nice little car, cheap, and toy around with it on the weekend, whatever you want to do. But do not buy one of these things and pay hardly any money for it and expect you're going to be able to drive it 20,000 miles a year as a luxury sports sedan, because it'll bite you in the rear end and cost you a small fortune to keep it in tip-top shape. And here's some bonus questions and answers. Christian Collins says, what is the best everyday car to buy under US dollars 5,000? You know, of course, a lot of it depends on what kind of style you want you yada, yada, yada. But if you want the thing that's going to last the absolute longest, get a used Toyota Corolla. Or if you can find one, a Camry. The Camry is much more luxurious, but you're going to have to buy either a Camry that's got a lot more mileage than the Corolla, or is a whole bunch older because they're worth a lot more than the Corollas are. Either one can last forever, regardless of, even if you're only paying, you know, $3,500 or something. Pay a mechanic like me to check it out before you buy it. because it doesn't matter what you're paying. You could be getting a money pit. You can't trust anybody. If it's wrecked, flooded, stolen, make sure it's got a clean title, not a salvage title, all that stuff. You want to have that stuff all checked out before you buy. Because, I mean, a few months ago I had a customer, they bought what looked like a nice Corolla for $1,500. Well, the car needed $3,500 worth of work, and the wheel fell off about 2 days later when he was driving down the road. You don't want to have the mechanic check it out after you buy it, before you buy it. And then, hey, if he says it's good, you argue over the price to see the best deal you can get. But you can't beat the Corolla or Camry for a long life. Either way, just try to find one if you can, because people like them and they go fast when people sell them. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.